True peace, Kens. Trump indicts Dr. Fauci, charged as enemy combatant. Peep the slang. The United States Justice Department, on behalf of President Donald J. Trump, has finalized a sealed indictment naming Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and member of the Coronavirus Task Force, a traitor to America, according to a Washington source familiar with the issue. The indictment, which currently sits on the resolute desk in the Oval Office, charges Fauci with numerous high crimes and misdemeanors, many of which could see Fauci stripped of his medical license and deported to Gitmo for the rest of his natural life. Those charges reportedly include treason, conspiring with the enemy, and fraud. Article 2 of Section 4 of the United States Constitution states the President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from offices on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. While Fauci is neither a politician nor a government official, he is a career civil servant and therefore can be charged with criminal malfeasance as is outlined in Article 2, Section 4. Sources close to the Fauci probe said Trump began suspicious of Fauci's intentions after reading tweets linking the doctor to a deep state coup designed to cripple his re-election campaign. These tweets allege Fauci and none other than Barack Hussein Obama had orchestrated a hoax to tank the economy, spelling doom for a president whose main presidential achievement was fostering an economic resurgence. The tweets surmise the coronavirus is a pretext for stripping Americans of the rights and freedoms they hold dear, and that Fauci wants to usher in a new world order that will abolish the Constitution and replace the U.S. leaders with United Nations personnel. Fauci's fishy behavior at coronavirus press briefings further fueled Trump's suspicion. On March the 20th, Trump called the State Department the Deep State Department. Standing behind him, Fauci made a dismissive hand gesture, dropped his head, and rubbed his forehead. Trump took it as a personal slight. Trump doesn't forgive or forget. He had his eye on Fauci, and Fauci's action helped confirm the president's suspicion, our source said. Moreover, Fauci has been a frequent guest of CNN and MSNBC, networks that often criticize Trump's pandemic response endeavors. He has used his status as one of America's most notable physicians to directly contradict Trump's messages. The tweets, combined with Fauci's radical conduct, promoted Trump to direct the Justice Department to investigate the Fauci-Obama connection. Investigators learned and apparently leaked data proving that in 2015, Obama instructed Fauci to authorize a $3.5 million donation to a Wuhan virology lab. Fox News and the Washington Post have run articles questioning whether COVID-19 originated at the Wuhan facility. Additionally, a wiretap on Fauci's phone and electronic devices revealed the good doctor and the disgraced former president have kept a close friendship. Intercepted phone calls and emails show that Obama and Fauci had conspired to undermine Trump's authority by having Fauci give the president unsound medical advice in matters involving the pandemic. First, Fauci told Trump the virus was nothing to worry about. Then he reversed course and warned Trump COVID-19 would utterly ravage the country unless martial law-like steps were at once taken to curb the spread. Fauci misrepresented the facts and figures, and he artificially inflated the case fatality rate, CFR, by instructing the CDC to label all respiratory distress-related deaths as COVID-19 fatalities, even if the person never received a COVID-19 test. Some examples: transcendent absurdity. For example, in Queens, New York, a 23-year-old black male had been walking home from a convenience store, when a car pulled up alongside him and its driver emptied a pistol magazine in his chest. 2 rounds struck his chest, peep the slang, collapsing both lungs because he had breathing difficulties and was put on a ventilator prior to the death. 2 hours later, hospital staff said the coronavirus killed him. They did not perform a COVID-19 test. Peep the slang. Brooklyn, a 96-year-old diabetic woman with high blood pressure dropped dead. When her heart stopped beating, the New York City medical examiners office listed the cause of death, coronavirus. The next day, New York added over 3,000 presumptive positives to the state's growing sum of COVID-19 fatalities. Trump's investigative team unearthed a trove of evidence that proves Dr. Fauci compelled the state to blame all inact deaths since January on the coronavirus. In doing so, they've amplified the death count. The more coronavirus deaths, the worse Trump's look, and the tighter restrictions get as more states adopt martial law. Trump had enough and decided he had put the screws to Fauci, our source says. And all information is correct. Trump's special prosecutor secretly indicted Fauci, charging the deep state doctor with crimes under the Patriot Act and the 1917 Espionage Act. Peep the slang, peep the slew.